Good afternoon. Welcome to the City of Providence Board of Contract and Supply meeting, Monday, January 13th, 2025. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Courtney Hawkins. Present. Council President Pro Tempore Patato.
Present.
Councilwoman Anthony. Oh, I'm sorry. Councilman Gonzalez is absent. Councilwoman Anthony.
Present.
Ms. Silvera.
Present.
Ms. Richards.
Present.
Mr. DePina.
Present.
Ms. Coinfade.
Present.
Mr. Husband.
Present.
Mr. Osmanian.
Present.
Mr. Bellini.
Present.
Mr. Rogill is absent. You have 10 present, 2 absent. You have a quorum.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to elect myself chairperson of this meeting.
Second.
Motion made by Director DePina, seconded by Director Bellini. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You guys have it. Please let the record reflect that we're joined today by Michael Calisi, Deputy City Solicitor. I'd like to entertain a motion to go to Section B, opening of bids. Second. Motion made by Director Richards, seconded by Director Coinfade. All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Section B, opening of bids, item 1, Department of Art, Culture, and Tourism. PBD Fest producing partner, service provider, 2-year contract with one option.
One bid.
One bid. First Works, $300,000. Item 2, Department of Housing and Human Services, rebid multiple pathways to recovery startup grants.
3 bids.
3 bids. Clinica Esperanza, $10,000. Integrative Healthcare Solutions, $50,000. The Rhode Island Black Storytellers, $49,200. Item number 3, Providence Police Department, rebid Providence Police Recruit Enlistment Medical.
One bid.
One bid. It's Concentra. Okay, so it's Concentra. The pricing said that there is a summary forms immediately following a page in the bid, but there doesn't seem to be. That's
So is that an incomplete thing?
Will have to be handled by the review, presumably that will be not deemed to complete that.
okay. Item 4, Department of Public Property, lease of city property known as Camp Cronin, 1399 Ocean Road, Narragansett. 5-year lease with 2 5-year options.
One bid.
One bid. Matthew, G. Semikas, thank you. So I don't know if there's any financial. Okay, so, they've submitted a budget with, revenue streams and expenses. Revenue of 640,000 and then expenses of 571,800. But I'm not.
There's no line item.
Maybe it's not.
There's no rent line in their expenses. Item 5, Department of Public Works.
So is that incomplete too?
If either of these are gonna be awarded, we'll have to bring them back and read the bid into the record. They're not gonna be canceled. You know, like if someone reviews it and finds out that it is included, I think it should come back to this meeting, right?
Well, they're open and they're available for inspection, Fred's office from here on out.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt to read them into the
Yeah.
record. I'm not sure it's
I
actually.
think we should bring them back if either of them prove to have a bid. If not, then they won't be considered valid.
And they would have to then rebid again.
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, item 5, Department of Public Works, open enrollment interest suppliers, snow ice control, 2024-25 winter season.
There are no bids. This item will remain on the agenda until further notice.
Okay, are there any unmarked bids?
No unboxed.
Okay. This completes the opening of bids. I'd like to entertain a motion to refer the bids to the city clerk's office.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Director Katrina, seconded by Treasurer Husband. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. I'd like to entertain a motion to move to section C, advertisements. So
Second.
motion made by Director Richards, seconded by Director Bellini. All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the advertisements in section C.
So, second.
Motion made by Director Richards, seconded by Director Bellini. All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it. I'd like to entertain a motion to go to section A for review.
So moved.
Motion made by Director Bellini, seconded by Director Richards. All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it. And Councilman Anthony, Councilman Pachard, do you have any items you'd like to review?
Yes, sir.
May I just confirm that the number 1, that the amount of the grant is $226.60? Is that correct?
Is there any?
Sorry. I was just confirming on number one, the zero waste Providence low bidder for the community-based recycling outreach and education, is that 22660 the amount of the grant or grants combined?
Approximately, it was 222,660 was the total funding that was awarded to the city by the EPA for education for this country.
Okay, that's all I need. Thank you.
I'd like to entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 5 in section A on the roll. Second. Motion made by Director DePina, seconded by Director Richards. Madam Clerk, a roll call, please.
Ms. Hawkins,
Aye.
Council President Pro Tempore Furtado,
Aye.
Councilman Gonzalez is absent, Councilwoman Anthony,
Aye.
Ms. Silvera,
Aye.
Ms. Richards,
Aye.
Mr. DePina,
Aye.
Ms. Cohen Fig,
Aye.
Mr. Husband,
Nay.
Mr. Arzamanian,
Aye.
Mr. Bellini.
Aye.
Mr. Vogel is absent. You have 9 ayes, 1 nay, and 2 absent. They're approved.
I'd like to entertain a motion to go to section D, minutes approval.
So moved.
Second. Motion made by Director Blaney, seconded by Director Richards, all in favor. All opposed. We've been provided a copy of the minutes from the Monday, December 30th, 2024 Board of Contract and Supply. Are there any edits or concerns? Okay. Madam Clerk, do you want me to note everyone who's abstaining from this vote?
Yes.
Okay, so Councilman Pichardo is abstaining, Chief Hawkins is abstaining, Director Coin Fig, Director Arzamanian. And I also was not present at that meeting. So motion to approve. minutes. Motion made by Councilwoman Anthony, seconded by Director Richards. All in favor,
Aye.
minus the ones that are abstaining. Do we have enough votes for that?
We have 5 abstaining and 5 ayes.
I need a second. I forget if the abstainings are count against or if it's. Give me 1 sec. This has happened before, but I don't remember off the top of my head. So you can, for purposes of this vote, you can assume the abstentions are not here. They're not nay votes. So it's the number of yay votes versus the number of total votes. Not. Let me say that again. Pretend the abstentions aren't here. So if it's 5 yeas and 0 nays, it carries.
Okay,
So that's approved.
yeah, I saw it. Okay. I'd like to
Yes, thank you, Michael.
entertain a motion to go to section E, discussion.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Director DePina, seconded by Director Bellini, all in favor. All opposed, ayes have it. Item 1, discussion relative to including liquidation damages and contractors, or anyone here that'd like to speak on that?
So I think we discussed it and the one department's working on something.
Okay. Okay. Item 2, year-to-date updates regarding school construction, including details about the location of the vendors. Is there anyone here?
Did you receive a report from Downs on this topic?
I did receive a report. I had a couple questions about it. I don't have a copy of it here with me, but I think I'd like to see it was broken out by percentage by job, but not by subcontractor. So. 8 5. Yeah, see, this is broken out by project, but And it has the subcontractors listed, but it doesn't say how much each subcontractor received. When we looked at some of the subcontractors, we're trying to figure out how the city's, MPEs are being impacted and how the city's, residents, being impacted.
When you say how much, you mean dollars?
Dollars, and so, I think the issue that we have is that we're, based on what I see in these agendas is where they have very little minority participation. I can't really tell from this what percentage each of these entities are, and we went and did some research to see where they're located at, but we can't really tell how much of their dollars are flowing back into the city, i.e., who do the subcontractors to? And for me, that's my issue with the process, because I don't feel like we're taking that into consideration when we're picking contractors. So,
I'll have to go enough for it.
all right, thank you.
When you say located, you're looking for the headquarters of the subcontractors?
I'm looking for some indication of how much of the dollars are flowing back into the city. 'Cause
I understand, I'm just not sure the city would be able to tell you like number of employees that live in the city that are
Right.
employees of these contractors working on those.
So
projects.
that's one of the things I want to point out. That I
Yeah.
think we should know it. So I think that when we are picking a contractor, we should, because there's a multiplier effect to these dollars that we spend. So if we're able to spend them in the city more, then we're able to benefit more from all of these projects. But if we don't know what we're spending in the city, that's what I'm trying to highlight here.
Yeah, it's also though a matter of what's a reasonable thing for a vendor, a small contractor to be able to report on by job. Where each employee lives. So I think we can look at certainly the dollars per vendor we have. And there's a layer of first source compliance data that we have. So I think we can start with those two things and see how far that gets us, and then we can come back to that.
Yeah, and I think we should be requiring it in the bid process. So when we're looking at bids, we should also be considering that element of how the dollars being spent.
But again, you would ask someone to answer what question, how many employees they have that live in Providence? Like for a subcontractor, that's like a painting company with 20 people.
I would like there to be a benefit in the process for spending city dollars with
Well, I
city
understand what
employees.
you're after.
Right,
I
so,
understand the point, but I'm trying to, I can't,
so right now we don't have that. So there's no benefit in the process to spending money with city
Well,
city
there-
residents.
there's a benefit to the city residents having $700 million in new schools.
Right, but.
But we can't create a process that doesn't, like, if you can't tell me what I'm asking them to track, I can't put it in a bid document. Because it's unclear to me what we're asking the vendor to provide.
So there was one that came up where, a protest where the bidder said that 75% of their staff lives in the city.
Uh-huh.
I don't see anywhere where we even considered that. In this process of considering bids, so I feel like bids
Uh-huh.
where, we can identify these things, and there's a whole bunch of different processes for that, one of them is where their office is, the ownership, who they're spending money with, so who they're buying supplies from. These are all things that could be done within the city, but I don't see where we can, systematically.
Well, the
track it.
ordinance now requires us to award to the low bidder. So if there was an appetite to look at changing the purchasing ordinance to factor in things like how many people do you live in Providence, but then that means we might be spending more, which maybe to your point is the right thing to do, but the purchasing team doesn't have latitude to say, I'm gonna award this to someone who has 75% employees, because even if it's twice as much.
I can also see, I like finding out where the original company is licensed, but as far as, is it legal to ask where your employees live? Is there a legal point on it?
So we can't ask, so
Each individual, so if he has 100 employees, where do each 100 employees live? You know what people?
Well, I was actually just looking for the address right now, but we could talk about that. probably identify, because it has to be some sort of metric we can use to um, spend more dollars in the city. And right now, I haven't really seen any details on that, but how much, when we talk about this, we're not really saying how the dollars come back into the city, other than we get a nice school out of the deal, but in terms of how that $700 million is getting spent, how much of that $700 million is getting spent with city residents?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not a worthy priority, it's just with the way structures are in place. So I think what we need to start to do is the dollars to MWBs, and the first source data that we have, and then we can go from there.
Is there any further discussion?
Can I just add to that, since you're requesting information on that? And just an observation in the past 2 years, doesn't, the MWBE, coordinator, keeps track of that information? Does that also include or add an amendment to the request is that, information be provided alongside, how do we consider veterans? In these bidding process and WB and according to the state law or our laws in terms of giving them those opportunities within this process.
Is that, there's not currently a local purchasing law that allows for that, right?
It does not, but for the state perspective. But now it's for us to at least consider
Yeah,
looking at that and also maybe we should, right?
right.
And that's something that we keep looking at and seeing how veterans can actually take advantage of, especially in the Providence area,
Yeah.
but just in general, but just for the purpose of how does city dollars get spent? While we can't say, you can't bid because you don't live in Providence or you don't work, but we, at the end of the day, we just want to quantify, we spent X amount of billions of dollars here, what percentage actually residents or people that lived here benefited from it, aside from the good projects and feeling good and being proud of our city. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I will say like, all of our purchasing rules are established very strictly, including this meeting, which is sometimes very frustrating for lots of us who would like to do more creative things that focus. So, I think it is worthy in a number of areas for us to look at all of those pieces and think about how ordinance tweaks might help us accomplish some bigger goals, because there's lots of, if you ask all of our city departments, there are things they would like to do to prioritize other goals that they're not able to do because of the way the ordinance is structured.
And if, I think it's important. I think we all want is that what we want is transparency and making sure that we're consistent with state or city ordinance and laws. And that's where my observation in the last 2 years now, including starting out. And I think these are things that we need to come together to improve these processes. I mean, I hear about a review committee. When I ask in terms of, is this a qualifying committee? I mean, bid. So there's a review committee post opening of the bids. And this, my understanding also is that there's a pre-committee review of the agenda. Is that?
That's done with the council and the board, to the board meeting.
And that's never, is that also publicized or is just a committee? There's never a quorum or anything like that.
There's never a forum.
No, I'm sure it's a committee.
It's a staff level group that prepares for this meeting.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'd like to, we're not voting on anything in section E, correct? So I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Councilman Machado, seconded by Treasurer Husband. All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it. This meeting is adjourned.